Shalom, shalom. Fault line like how about Shemi Shall we back at it with another one. Before we begin, we want to give all the glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, Akim in the faith, doing the work of truth and sincerity. Yahweh being the name of the true Heavenly Father, who the world certainly calls God, meaning He exists in the Paleo tongue, in the Paleo Hebrew, the ancient tongue. And Yahweh Shai meaning He saves, He delivers. In that same tongue, it's not Yeshua, it's not Yahweh, it's none other. It's not whatever you want it to be. That's the Heavenly Father's name. Continuing on. We in these times, man, which we got to keep watch, like the scriptures speak of. So I'm gonna open up with the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1. He answered me then and said, "Measure thou the time diligently in itself." Now, how do we measure the time diligently in itself? Do we just stare at a clock for 24 hours in a day? Absolutely not. We pay attention. We remain in the know. We find out, okay, what's going on. Brothers make a lesson and we get on it. We may land back the lesson. We may do some further research. You add on to that point. Or you filter whatever's going on via the scriptures, man. You say, okay, this is happening. The scripture spoke about this, so we in this time period. So that's checklist. That's check off. That's this checkpoint. And when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that in this very same time, wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. That's right, man. You know how Jake Mom be like, I put you in this world, I'll take you out. Hey, the Lord is about to, pluck a lot of people out of this world. The Lord is about to put down a lot of judgments which he spoke of and prophesied. And he warned his men, that was coming about. And his men are out here, warning the people, day in and day out, week in and week out, via these sit-downs, via these stand-ups, classes, camp lessons, so these are the times that we're in, man. We gotta measure the times of the signs, man. We see that war is looming, we see rumors of war, we see famine, great destruction, so we'll get there. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. I want to speak on these current events going on, pretty much because Babylon the Great is it's on a full-blown collapse. Some people think it's a recession, some people think it's a salaki. Some people think it's a recession. Some people think it's a Great Depression. This, that, and the third. But it's headed for a full-blown collapse, like the Elder Malcolm mentioned, man. And it don't matter how you cook it up, how you chop it up. It's going down here because you have a retail apocalypse. Going to show you that the money here is dwindling. It's finicky. A lot of your big box stores are closing. They're not here no more. You go to the malls, they don't have that same energy. Why? Because the people can't spend. The dollar has weakened. The power of the dollar has weakened. That's right. These jobs, they're not producing enough. And even if you have a so-called high-paying job, if you compare the power that you would have had to spend that money back then, it ain't the same as today. So I want to open up with the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, verse 22. It reads, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." That's right, and that's what you're seeing, man. You're seeing a lot of places closing. You see some places saying they got a closeout sale, or they're moving this place, or they're going online, they're going remote, or they're opening for less hours. Everything costs more, but you get less. Or you're getting less quality of things. These are the things that we're seeing, man, here in Babylon the Great. Because labor, everything is inflated, and we're headed for full-blown hyperinflation. And once that happens, there's no turning back, man. Babylon the Great knows what's in store for itself, man. The elites know. "And the trumpet shall give a sound which every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid." Hearing that sound of war, man. That sound of Jacob's trouble. Hearing that dark, gloomy, time that we're coming into. They know there's not gonna be no Feliz Navidad going on, no 4th of July going on. For this year, for 4th of July, man, Lord willing, it be rockets going off, man, and bombs. Because that's what's going on in the West, man. Salaki, that's what's going on in the east side of the world, man. It's full-blown all-out chaos right now, and it's going to get even bigger. And everything right now is just, it's the calm before the storm. Everyone just takes it, for face value, and, everything's going to be good. But, hey, the prophecies are speaking off the book, now more so than ever, man. "At that time," verse 24, "shall friends fight one another like enemies." Why would friends fight each other like enemies, man? Would there be a reason for a friend to fight one another like an enemy? One that you've been friends with forever, and now you got a sword in his neck. Hey, because of famine, because of the lack of many waxing cold, because of no patience, because of you having nothing, to survive. So you're gonna take another man's shit, man. That's how these people of the world gonna act and react upon one another. Opposed to brethren dwelling amongst each other, man. The Lord gonna feed them, us brethren, in these times to come. We ain't gonna have to act like that or think irrationally as these people. Lord said we're gonna have, we're gonna have laughter. We're gonna have drink. And the earth shall stand in the fear with those that dwell therein. Springs of fountains shall stand still. In 3 hours they shall not run. So completion. Whosoever remaineth from all these things I have told shall escape and see my salvation at the end of your world. Hey, and that's what's coming on, man. This is a kingdom being translated, so we're seeing the downfall of America the Great, gradually, on all ends. That's why brothers have so many scenarios when they speak about the destruction of Babylon the Great, because it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. All cards are on the table, man. We're waiting on that major prophecy, man, for that charagma to be put in place, man. The MOTB spoken of in the book of Revelation chapter 13. Lord willing, we get there. I want to jump up to verse 9 in 2 Ezra chapter 6. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Hey, who's in power right now, man? Esau, the wicked. That's known in the scriptures, man. Go Babylon want to say, Esau Edom is done away with. That's not true. Esau Edom, he's awaiting his judgment. He ain't gonna be done away with until he serve 1,000 years in captivity, man. Under the Israelites. Thus saith, the Lord, man, in the book of Obadiah. We'll get that too, Lord willing. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 3, it reads, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because there are few, those that look out of the windows be darkened. Hey, that's gonna be a spiritual darkness, seeing that there is no life left, to engage in out here. And literally, man, because you're gonna have these nuclear suits, and these fires, that's gonna cause the atmosphere, to be thickened up, man. It says the grinders shall cease. So all of this, you see all the cars that we hear going by, the honking, the street lights, the school buses going by, your garbage trucks, your police officers, all that shit, that makes a society look structured, per se, is gonna go to naught. Because you don't have that in these other countries, man. People don't understand that this is not a requirement for society. Yeah, it's a requirement for society to be thriving in a developing country, but at the same time, this is a privilege. People think they deserve this. They're born into this. They're born into this wealth. They're born into this security of a place. Hey, that's a privilege. This place has deliciously, dwelt carelessly, man. The scriptures speak about how in thy security thou shalt be destroyed. So it don't matter how much money you got, it don't matter what fort, where in America you are, man. If you're not of the elect, you will be destroyed. Anything left in America, animals, trees, buildings, elements, shall melt with fervent heat. Continue on, verse 4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So kind of like we went into, man, the grinding shall be brought low, man. You ain't gonna hear nothing, And the daughters of music being brought low. Look at the quality of music we listening to, man, compared to back then, man. You got Sexy Red talking about some shake your dreads, my baby daddy, this, that, and the third. Just degenerate music, man. CIA propaganda. It can't be nothing else than that. In the news, going through these topics that I have listed, Boeing. And if you're not familiar with Boeing, that's the big jet. That's a commercial jet, which a lot of you guys may fly in if you ever flew in the plane. Those 737s. A lot of your American Airlines, those are Boeings. Your United Airlines, those are Boeings. But the point being is they had a whistleblower. Well, really, someone just coming out and speaking the truth. And they pretty much put him to death, man. They say he committed suicide. And that's what's going on in America, man. They're showing out their all-out power. They're showing how if you're not in alignment with what they have going on, you're going to be put to death. And that's what's coming, to the whole world, man. Is like it speaks about in the book of Revelation chapter 13. He spake as a dragon. He had 2 horns like a lamb. That the Democrats and the Republicans, but he's spoken as a dragon. That word dragon going into dracon, man. These draconian majors which they've been going to set in place. You got Ryan Garcia. He came out. He was speaking crazy. Bear with me, Baba Kasha. Yeah, Ryan Garcia. He was coming out speaking about the evils that he's seen. Being with these elites and whatnot, because he's now on a high level. You don't get in a high level with these people, by accident. So I'm sure he's seen some things or whatnot, and he was speaking about them. But hey, all these things are coming to pass, man, and that's gonna tie into the MOTB. Because once they got you locked in like that and you're not in alignment, you ain't gonna be able to buy or sell. And if you got, that stuff in your body and you're not in alignment, they got the power to probably put your ass to death. Continuing on, in Russia you had a military plane attack, and you had chaos, pretty much like a turmoil, I would say, at an election. For whatnot, and who won? Of course, lo and behold, Vladimir Putin, man. Maybe the Lord want that man in office. Why do people don't think like that for once? It don't always got to be changed, man. The kings, the Lord pretty much, like the scriptures speak about, roughly paraphrase, not to butcher it completely. The king's heart is in the Lord's hand, man. The king can't do nothing without the Lord, guiding him. So the Lord is really orchestrating who he wants in place and whatnot. And I like Putin for as a president, because he like another Trump. These guys are just antsy. They want to push buttons. But everything's for an appointed time. So the angel's gonna continue to work on these kings' minds. The Lord's gonna continue to wait on these kings' minds until he's ready for them to click the buttons, man. And once these buttons are clicked, hey, there's no going back. So everything has to be properly set up. And which it is being so. The table is set, man. Once that charagma is put in place, Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 on, it's over with. Matthew chapter 24, verse 6, you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. Hey, we hearing of wars, man, real wars, man, where people are dying, man. You can go on your phone and you go on these external sites, to see what's going on in the rest of the world. You can see bodies. You can see blood. Like it speaks about in the book of Psalms, 1,000 out that 1,000 out that right, 1,000 out that left. Hey, man, you're going to be in time, where you may be in a town, a whole bunch of people is being put to death. And the Lord got a spirit upon you and a shield and a hedge upon you that, you just walking and treading through these people, man, trying to get to your next destination. So these are the times that we in, man. Continue on that verse. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet come. So we know that, this is not yet the end, man. We know that when Babylon the Great, we know that once Babylon the Great and the rest of the world, get this MOTB going, man, things are gonna move a lot faster. You're gonna have nuclear threats. It ain't gonna be no more of this, petty talk with these Palestinians, this, that, and the third. There's gonna be way more major talks going on, man. So recently you had the Haitian Prime Minister, and which, God damn, bear with me. Which, Haiti's always been a shithole, but it's just getting shittier, And that's because one of the reasons being, they supposed to be the priest of the Lord, man, but they out there doing wickedness, man. They dibble and dabble in that witchcraft, major. But continuing on, it's the weakest country on this side of the hemisphere, so it makes sense. If this place is going down, if America's gonna go down, the places that count on it is also gonna go down. Pretty much as little brothers, you could say. Even though we know Esau, Edom don't care about no damn Levites, you know, genuinely. I'm speaking about how, you know, their society depends on this society. You know, if the society here is gonna be inflated, it's gonna be hyper inflated over there. You know, if chaos is gonna be over here, it's gonna be mad chaotic in these other places because they depend on that the circulation of that money, you know. That's why you got Jamaica, you got Dominican Republic doing so well right now because a lot of tourists from here, they go there and they go spend that dollar, they go spend that bread. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 14, I'll start there. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Destruction unto, you know, people that's not of the Lord, man. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand to fight against another, swords in their hands. What you think is going on in Haiti? You got gunmen going against gunmen, machete men going against machete men, people that's going fist for fist. You know, however you can take a man down, people are taking those instruments and using them. These instruments are not made to collect dust. They're meant to be used to be thrusted through people, man. In short strokes. You know, them spirits created for vengeance. Verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes. That's the point I wanted to make. And the courses of their actions shall stand in their power. You know, so they doing as they will, man. You know, they're kings nor princes, so they're prime ministers, they're presidents. People don't give a damn, man, about no damn Ariel, whatever the Haitian president name is. You had the North Korea, not the North Korea, Salakia, the South Korea prime minister. Matter of fact, he was like a guard of some sort. He was something close. He had high ranking and whatnot. Hey, they got up close to that man and they put a knife in his neck, man. So that's going to show you the times that we're coming into, man. You had the Iranian guard, center guard, something. You know, things are going so fast that if something happened a couple months ago, that shit's old news, man, because, you know, time is speeding up, you know, for the sake of the elect, man. You know, and if it wasn't, man, no flesh shall be saved, like it speaks of. You got the United States supplying Gaza with food, them Palestinians, which, you know, the Apostle Hart said he believes a lot of them are Jake, and I believe so as well. You know, a lot of them are Jake. And when I had that situation happen to me a couple weeks ago, whatnot, I was locked up with a Palestinian, man, and his ass was a full-blown Jake, for sure. You know, and, you know, they going through all out hell, but at the end of the day, you know, if they not of Jake, you know, whoever is within them, you know, they fighting for a land that's not theirs, you know, so they deserve it, you know, whatever the hell they're going through, you know. Going to show you that the people ain't in the land, because when we in the land, ain't no more war gonna be learned no more, man. How the hell people gonna go to war with us, or in general, when we the top dogs, when the righteous are put in place? Ain't gonna be no mourning when the righteous are put in place. Ain't gonna be no sorrow, ain't gonna be no chaos, ain't gonna be no disruption, you know. Continuing on to the book of 2 Ezra chapter 16. Bear with me, Babu Kashar. But that's just going to show you too that Babylon the Great is a hypocrite, you know. And also, how the hell are you gonna be supplying people with food, but you giving their enemies, you know, weapons to destroy them? So how do you really feel about them? You know, they really just trying to cover their face and cover their ass. You know, they don't want their name dirtier than it already is, because they already know, everyone already knows the history of Babylon the Great, man, and Esau Edom. Speaking like a dragon, man, acting all calm and steady. That's why the scriptures speak about knowing your enemy. As iron rusteth, so does he. So does his wickedness, man. He ain't gonna spare you. That's why we look at Jay confused when they want to be eye to eye with Esau, because you could build Esau a golden palace. You still a nigga, man. Jay-Z broke it down. And shit, he knows it very well, because shit, he at the top of the echelon on the carnal side. You know, he's got the money, he's got the fame, he's got the wealth, he's got this, that, and the third, and he know he's still a nigga. I want to show you, you know, we in Esau Edom, you know, world, man, and we'll never be eye to eye. He's had a perpetual hatred towards us, and that's why he's got to go after he served his time. That's why the Lord got to put his anger up in us, man, because Jake done went to sleep. Jake done got docile You know, that's why it says, Judah, who shall rise them up? Well, the Lord's gonna rise them up via these prophecies, man, via these events that come to play, that come to pass. And I wanna speak on Denmark. They just passed a law requiring women that they have to join their military force. Going to show you, you know, the women coming past the man, you know, that should come with responsibilities as well, you know. But, you know, scriptures speak about women come past the man. This is a women's society, you know, a metropolis, meaning city, women's city. The Apostle Bar broke it down to God. And this world is created for them. But guess what? Look at the world now. It went to shit to shambles. You know, y'all want to put the woman at the head of the household, this, down, and third. Now look at men these days. Soy boys. You got these women masculine as hell out here. 16 and 33 reads, the virgins, 2 Ezra chapter 16, verse 33, the virgins, meaning the young women, shall mourn having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. Why is that? Because daddy's gonna be drafted. Now, as you can see, you know, women are being required to go to these forces now. Hey, y'all gonna be put to the test too. You know, all you strong, independent, you women that want this, down, and third in life, a career, the military is open for you. Well, that's another reason going to show you, know, Russia gonna run through a lot of places, man. Because Russia ain't, you know, they shit is hard on, man. No soy boys, no women, just straight, you know, hard dick and bubble gum. Verse 34. Verse 34, it reads, in the wars, the bridegrooms be destroyed and their husbands shall perish of famine. Hey, you got Ukrainian soldiers begging for different supplies of different things, man. They on camera saying, they asking their ally friends, the ally nations to send this, send that. Hey, y'all gonna be destroyed, you know, via famines, via swords, via bullets, you know, via harsh terrain, grenades. You get it, you name it. Hearing all these things and understand them, ye servants of the Lord. Man. So these are times and signs that we're in, man. You know, rumors of wars and wars going down. We in a beautiful time, man. Yesterday I seen a map of nuclear targets for Babylon the Great. And looking at that map, a lot of places gonna get hit multiple times, man. That's why the scriptures speak the way it does. Like Florida, like your hot cities, your metropolises, they're gonna be getting smacked. But we know there's 200 million ICBM nuclear missiles coming to Babylon the Great, so it don't matter where them shits hit, man. Them shits gonna destroy this place, man. One nuclear missile could destroy a state, man. So times that by 200 million. That's an issue for these people, for the wicked. I'm gonna get the book of Genesis, chapter 1, because you had recently SpaceX, they had launched out a starship out into the so-called space, they say, you know, but we know they can't pass a certain place, man. We know the Lord has set a limit upon them, and of course, my Genesis chapter 1 is butchered out of my Bible. It's ripped out over the time of using it. I'm using my phone right now, but the book of Genesis chapter 1 speaks about how the earth has a firmament, how the waters have been divided from up above and to the waters down beneath us. We got waters up in the space above the firmament, man. And we know that the Lord has set a bound that these people cannot pass, you know? And Esau Edom, he likes to flaunt and like he's been to these different places, but we know that this is all a lie. You know, I believe the word NASA, if I'm not mistaken, it means a lie, something of that sort. It means something negative. You know, but I'll get the book of Obadiah instead. And Japan, Ammon, they also launched a space probe or whatnot. It's called Space One. So these people are still in that spirit of race to space. You know, they're trying to figure out, you know, the other powers which they're going to have to fight. And we'll get that book of Joel chapter 2 or 3, matter of fact. Bear with me, Baba Bashar. me up, Shah. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. These times we're coming into, you know, that's just a civilian plane, you know, when Babylon the Great, it should start hitting the fan. That's how it sounds in Syria. This is how it sounds in Yemen, 24/7. This is how it sounds in Palestine. This is how it sounds in, I would say Iran, you know, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, the borders of Belarus. You know, you got F-22s, you got military war dogs, you know, flying by and pass, you know, dropping bombs, you know, doing intel. But the book of Obadiah chapter 1 verse 3, you know, cutting, you know, Esau, Edom, and these people that are trying to go into space, trying to discover things that are above their strength. And another reason why y'all got to be put out, you know, once y'all serve y'all captivity, once y'all serve y'all time. 1 and 3 Obadiah reads, I'll start at verse 2. I'll start at verse 3. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee. You know, their arrogance, man. You know, they done got too big-headed, man. And they always been. That thou dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, because that's what they did back in their time, man. Back in Petra, you know, they dug into these mountains and that's where they live. And to this day, they live as that nest, you know, as that eagle up there. They got them skyscrapers. They love to dwell upon high. They got them snipers that like to dwell upon roofs, you know, looking down upon the people, having that God complex. That's Esau Edom's nature for you. Whose habitation is high that thou said in his heart, who shall bring me down? So this guy thinks he's the Lord, man. That's why he wants to bring out, you know, this charagma. He wants to play God. He wants to be the author of these many different souls. He wants to play out his agenda chapter 2030 or whatnot. And we know that's not going to come to pass. And that's why he's going to get all pissed off. But you're going to back that up too as well. Bear with me, brother, for sure. All line like how about Shah. Therefore rejoice, Revelation 12 and 12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, ye that dwell therein them. Woe to destruction to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil, Esau Edom, false accuser, is coming down unto you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has but a short time. So he's deceiving himself. You know, he got nothing but a short time. You know, but he's still gonna try to play out his prophecies, man. You know, thinking he's the Lord and deceiving these people, because these people, a lot of these people are drinking the punch. They're drinking the juice. They believe these people, man. You know, they think what they say and what they could do is all possible. They think Esau Edom is the next thing to the Lord, man. That's why our women dwell on them. You know, they think, you know, because he has food stamps and Medicaid and all these precious government welfare things, and, you know, we struggle to provide that or whatnot because of the circumstances. They believe this man to be, you know, the Lord, man. But he's not. He's about to be shown that. The Lord's going to show his hand, man. The Lord's going to show who's really in check, who's really in power. He's going to be glorified. Verse 4, thou, though exalt thyself as the eagle, because that's the highest flying bird known. You know, they go up high, and they got great vision looking down. And thou set thy nest amongst the stars, very high. Thence I will bring thee down, saith the Lord, man. The bigger you are, the harder you fall, man. And that's what's coming to this place, man. You know, destruction. So last week I said we were gonna go through the book of Matthew. Bear with me off the shop. I said we were gonna go through the book of Isaiah to the 13. The Lord willing, let's have some scriptures there, and we'll get right to it, and we'll flow. You know, we'll jump. You know, to and fro. We'll lead. You know, wherever the Spirit goes. The book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 1. The burden of Babylon, which Isaiah, the son of Amoz, did see. So he had his vision, man. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain. What is the high mountain? Babylon the Great. exalt thy voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. Guess what? This truth is going into this gates of the nobles. That's why brothers' videos being striked. That's why family of the word is coming. That's why persecution is coming. Because, these elites, they know what's going on, man. They've been exposed, that, and that's another reason why they're gonna come down with that great wrath, because they in that spirit of, especially Amalek, if I can't have it, no one can have it. If I gotta be exposed, everybody gotta go down. Like when because the scriptures speak about it's like that school shooter mentality, man. When them Esau Edomites, they get up in that school and they spray everybody and then they spray themselves. That's how they treating this thing, And that's why you gotta, be under that hedge of the Lord. Verse 3, I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones from mine anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. His angels. Spoken about in the book of Joel. His mighty ones, man. Verse 4, the noise of a multitude in great mountains, these great mountains being this government, Babylon the Great, like as a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh of hosts muster up the hosts of the battle. Hey, that's the gathering of nations spoken about in the book of Joel, man. These people are going to be judged in Yahweh Shabbat, and the valley of Jehoshaphat, meaning the Lord's judgment. Armageddon, a lot of people like to say. Armageddon, mountain of troops. Verse 5, they come from a far country, from the end of the heaven, even the Lord Yahweh, and the weapons of his indignation, meaning righteous anger, to destroy the whole land. Like it speaks about in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50. Let's get there real quick. This place is going to be destroyed, man. Babylon the Great is going to be utterly destroyed like none other. In those days, in the time, saith the Lord, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 20, the iniquities, bear with me. I'm reading verse 18. Because of the wrath of the Lord Yahweh, it shall be not inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. That's right, they're going to see afar off her smoke burning, I'm going to show you that these other places are not going to be utterly destroyed as Babylon the Great will be. That was verse 25 that I wanted. That's the spirit. I'm reading verse 20, nah. Verse 25 in Jeremiah chapter 50, backing up the verse in Isaiah chapter 13, the Lord Yahweh hath opened up his armory, in other words, showing his hand. Because all these missiles, Vladimir Putin and Russia has the most missiles, this, that, and the third. But you got to understand, all these missiles are the Lord's, man. The Lord's going to guide these things, man. He's going to put in these kings' heart and these kings' mind, how to play about with these things. Because if man was of man's, that little short fucker from North Korea, he would have been dropped some shit off, man. A nigga like him, he antsy. Going to show you that the Lord is in control of all these things, man. You don't think them Palestinians want their Arabian brothers to back them up right now? Hey, but it's all from the point in time. The scriptures speak about how the dragons of Arabia, they're going to band together, And the Carmanians, being the Iranians. So at a point in time, that's just going to get bigger over there. Thus saith the Bible. And hath brought forth the weapons of his indignation, meaning righteous anger, because the Lord is righteous, for wanting to destroy Babylon the Great, for prophesying and for telling us that he's going to destroy Babylon the Great utterly. Why? Sodomy. That's one reason. That's one good reason. Sodom and Gomorrah was made as an example. This place couldn't learn better, didn't want to do better, destroy it. We'll be here forever trying to name the sins of Babylon the Great, man. For what they've done to the children of Israel, man. This is modern day Egypt. Egypt, going back to the Greek word Egyptos, house of bondage. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, of hosts in the land of the Chaldeans. Man. Going back to Isaiah chapter 13, it reads, how will ye, for the day of the Lord is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Was the Lord known as? Al-Shaja. Demon-like, terrible like power, man. King of terrors. The destruction from the Almighty. That don't sound like love. That don't sound like cookies and rainbows and sprinkles. That sounds like judgment. A terrible judgment. A record-breaking judgment. This is the vision which Isaiah is seeing, man. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. That's right, man. These soldiers are born to fight. Hey, and these nuclear missiles, their after effects, they gonna literally melt people, man. Nuclear debris, that nuclear wind, touch a nigga body out here, they gonna be done. Literally. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. Because when a woman is in pregnancy, she's going through all that. That's some of the worst pains, they say she experiences. But guess what? In the kingdom, in these new bodies, our women are not going to experience these things. But this is talking about, pretty much, the men, these armies of Babylon the Great, that are about to be joined unto that the great nation, that Salaki, not great nation, that are going to be gathered, those nations. Travaileth, they shall be amazed at one another, their faces shall be as flames. So you're gonna have, that suit heat, you're gonna have that horror, that amazement, horrified. When someone's like greatly horrified, that's what we're gonna see out here, man. You're gonna see people turning blue in the face. If that makes sense. Verse 9, behold, the day of the Lord Yahweh cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So heavy judgment is coming to this place, man. You got judgment via Jacob's trouble. That's gonna cause all-out chaos, man. People are gonna be dying in the worst way. People are gonna be banding up with one another. A man shall not go into the city that he wants to, because you have to go through these checkpoints. You're gonna have people dying from the MOTB, getting cancers and sores upon their body. You're gonna have people dying of famine. You're gonna have earthquakes in diverse places. You may have volcanoes going off, man. Bombs, grenades, bullets being shot off. That sounds like hell. You're gonna have stabbings, you're gonna have hand-to-hand combat. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, because the moon shall not cause her light to shine. Hey, that's how bad, these weapons are gonna go off, and they're gonna be out here. It's gonna be so damn bad. The atmosphere is gonna be thickened up. Have you ever been near a bad fire? In that vicinity, if you try to look up at the sky through the cloud, through that suit, it's nearly impossible. If it's a great fire, it's nearly impossible, man, because it's so thick. It's saturated. It don't move quickly. So imagine you got these different places and these different, lands and whatnot. The sun don't shine too great in Ukraine and Russia right now, because the air is so filled with that debris of things going on, weaponry. It's called SUT, nuclear fallout. And I will punish the world for their evil, for their wicked, for their iniquity, and the wicked for their iniquity, meaning sin upon sin. And I will cause, bear with me, the arrogancy of the proud, that USA chanter, America's the great chanter, freedom, all that bullshit, to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. That's right, man. You walk around with your chest all big, chin to the sky, all that's about to be put down, Esau. Verse 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man of the golden wedge will fear. Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1, man. Because in the times we're coming into, these women, I don't need a man, you're going to very much so need a man. Because it speaks about how, these men are going to be crying out like women. So how much more you women? Y'all going to be crying out like goddamn a dog that has a car tire on his fucking paw. Y'all women are gonna be through, man. Y'all gonna see the value and the importance of a man. You know, a man of the Lord at that, because he's gonna have a protection in the hedge from God. You know, the all-power being, man, Yahweh. You know, not Jesus, not Allah. You know, not no weak power, man. So therefore, you know, it's your best interest. You know, it behooves you to give the man of the Lord, man. A man from GMS preferably. You know, a man with the true doctrine and the true wisdom, and a man of true understanding. Because a lot of cards are about to get pulled, man. A lot of people are gonna have to stand on what they say, what they preach. You know. Verse 13, it reads, "Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts in the day of a fierce anger." That's right. Because these nuclear missiles, they got that power. They weigh over what, 100,000 pounds if I'm not mistaken. They travel at the speeds of 15,000 kilometers, and they have more than one warhead, and then they're precisely driven into different parts, and they're gonna be dropping off simultaneously in the same land in different places. So the earth is literally gonna shake. It's gonna reel to and fro like a junket, as it speaks of. You know, so your small islands, they're gonna experience, you know, things like tsunamis and great floodings and things of that sort, man. You know, you're gonna have, you know, little places and things like that, you know, disappearing, you know, for the time being, because it's gonna be going down, man. The earth shall reel. So in other words, it's gonna be getting hit for real. It's gonna be way harder than an earthquake. It's gonna be something the world has never experienced and not have prepared for it. But bear with me, Baba Gashar. It shall be as the chase row, and the sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee, everyone to his own land. Yeah, that's a mass exodus. You know, you're gonna have your Elamites going back to India. You know, your Arabians, your Arabic people going back to wherever their respective country may be, Jordan, Kuwait, United Emirates, Oman. Can't go back to Yemen, because that's just about to be done and through. Can't even find a flight there. You know, all those places, man, that those Arabic people stay. You know, Iran or whatnot. Your Moabites gonna have to go back to China. Your Ammonites gonna have to go back to Japan. You know, a lot of your Hamites, if they can find a fucking flight, they're gonna have to go back to Africa. You know. But hey, this is the great place for judgment, man. This is Babylon the Great. This is that altar that's going to sacrifice human beings. So this is why you have so many people coming in right now, not knowing what the hell's about to come to pass. But you know, you have very few that are in the know. You know, you got them sleeper cell dudes. You know, these dudes who are coming in the name of job security and what's the fancy word they like to use for that shit? Seeking asylum, right? Hey, they about to show their hand, man. When they get their call from wherever their respective country is to up it on people, man, because they know different things and they've been training. You know, they in the know, you know, because they want, you know, their nation to be next in line to rule. These people believe in reincarnation. They believe if they sacrifice themselves, they're going to get 70 virgins. So you got all type of, you know, debauchery out there. People thinking they're going to be next in line the whole time. You know, what we're seeing right now is a translation of power. Slowly but surely, man. The Jacobites are about to rule, man. You know, the descendants of Jacob. You know, Yahweh Shah being the leader, man. King David under him, the 12, the 144,000, the 1/3, you know, 2/3 of our people. Hey, we about to be on thrones, you know. The elect about to be on thrones, man. But you know, the least shall be as the greatest, man. So even, you know, 2/3 of our people on this side, once they be destroyed and put back into their right mind on the other side, you know, they're gonna be greater than a heathen. They're gonna, your worst 2/3 here on this side is gonna be greater than the best Edomite on this side, man. You know, your Joe Bidens and your Donald Trumps, hey, that's all coming to naught. But with that, Lord willing, us is edifying, straight to the point. You know, we're gonna continue on Isaiah 13 next week, Lord willing. But man, we gotta keep watch. You know, remaining and measuring the Salakia, remaining in the positions that we're in. You know, and increasing, measuring the signs of the signs, measuring the sign of the times. You know, knowing what's coming to pass, knowing what's next. You know, and discerning them, and breaking them down correctly. So you brothers, y'all keep fighting. But with that, Paul Line, now Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom.